Hey there! I'm very happy to greet you at my channel again, my dear friends. And today I'm very excited to introduce you a new bachelor meal which I'm going to cook. I've got a lot of positive feedback from y'all guys on the last bachelor meal I've cooked. That's a bag of chicken, and so I've decided to make this further and cook yet another bachelor dish for y'all. This time we are going to cook something like vegetable soup with chicken. The main ingredients that you should have for this meal are chicken. I've already cooked chicken breast. I put it in the fridge because I wanted to cool it down so that I afterwards can split it up and put in my pot. Besides, you'll also need some vegetables like carrots and onions. I also have some garlic. As a filling, I will use some soup noodles that I've got, the rest from last time, and a new package with such interesting stars there, and some seasoning. You'll definitely need some salt. I also got some different pepper, some parsley, dry garlic, black pepper, and also got some seasoning for soups makes the bouillon more tasteful. I'm very excited to cook this dish today because it will not take long. So let's start, let's get into it. First thing is to cook a chicken. I just boil the water and put it in it, but since I've already done it, I'll get right into the next step, peeling off the onions, then cutting them all. So I have prepared my vegetables to be cut. 2 pieces of garlic, 2 pieces of onion and 3 carrots, my universal knife, and I would like to start with onions. The garlic I'll add just in the end of the dish in the ready pot with soup. When you cook garlic, it loses its taste, so I prefer not to cook it. Don't put any temperature on it, but just put it in the end of every dish I do. Let's start with onions. Bachelor meals, you can experiment all around. If you don't have some vegetables, you can add others. With soups, it's a little bit special because soups are really specific, have some specific vegetables in it. Careful with choosing vegetables, but you are free to experiment. As I've said, as a bachelor, it doesn't really matter because the whole dish takes less than an hour to make. So we cut it in 6 pieces. Each slice of onion we cut so that we have 6 sectors of the circle. I've got a little emotional by cutting the whole onions, but I'll get over it. So we cut an onion and we just put it in the pan. So it's time for our favorite grater here, legendary grater. We take the middle holes here and we just grate our carrots. If you don't have a grater, it also goes if you just cut the whole carrot with your knife, with your universal bachelor knife, in very little pieces, so carrot can give away its taste and exchange it with the onion. by garlic, it's very important to look inside of it, so I slide it by half and look inside of it. So this piece of garlic doesn't look so good, so I put the middle part out of it so I don't get that. It's a little bit rotten. When you have cooked your chicken, please don't get rid of the bouillon you've cooked it in. This is the base in which we'll cook the other stuff, like the noodles, for example, or the vegetables afterwards, just a little. So don't pour it out after cooking the chicken in it. You can of course potentially throw it away and get a new clear water, but it will not be so rich in taste. So please, I beg you to follow this technique. So we've got our pan of carrots and onions on the stove. At this stage we need to add some sunflower oil. We have now a very much of vegetables here, so we put enough oil. We put a lot of oil so that vegetables don't burn to the pan. We put our stove onto the maximum level of heat. Fry them a little bit by themselves, not mixing them into each other. So as you can hear, it has started to crackle, and at this point we need to put the vegetables upside down and change their position every 2 minutes or so that they get fried evenly. As you might have noticed, vegetables have also released some moisture. That's why we don't need to put too much oil into our pan. So after mixing it a couple times independently, we finally mix them all together, the onions and the carrots, in order so that they pull up and unite. They exchange their tastes, and in this way the taste is going to be really unique and not like it would have been with only carrot or with only onion being fried. The sign of readiness of those vegetables are when they get a goldish yellowish color. So I suppose we might need to fry them about 10 minutes more, doing the mix up thing every 2 minutes. So it's about this color that we want to get from our vegetables, so goldish, yellowish. And at this point we just put our pan away, and instead we put our pot with the bouillon of the cooked chicken onto this hot stove. So I've put my bouillon onto the stove, noodles directly into the bouillon, so when it gets cooked, the noodles will immediately start to also be cooked. I'll also like to point out that you should not overdo putting this tiny noodles into the soup, because they look so little in the pack, but as you put them in the soup and cook them, they start to swell and also get more volume. So it can get to the point where you don't have enough space in your pot. Our noodles have started to get cooked. The water is boiling, but remember, those tiny noodles don't need a lot of time to be cooked. While the noodles are getting cooked, I have just washed my hands and touched nothing and got my chicken into here, and now we need to separate the cooked chicken into the little fibers. By the way, the water, the bouillon I'm cooking the noodles in is already salted. I have salted it at the point where I have put the chicken into the water. homogeneous mass.
Homogeneous mass.
Homogeneous mass. So now this bowl of chicken looks like a homogeneous mass, and that is a sign that we are ready to put it into our boiling water. So all ingredients need to pile up with each other. At this point, we can also put the content of our pan into the pot. Add up some heat on the stove. Now we can also put all of our seasonings. This will be the black pepper, dry garlic, parsley, different kinds of pepper, and this special stuffing for soups. You need to be very careful with those because they are very powerful, so you get just a little tiny amount of it into your soup. So we mix it all up again. So water starts to boil. That is the sign that we need to put our stove onto the minimum level. And we also have our garlic. We put it on the last step, namely now, so it doesn't get affected by temperature so much and doesn't lose the whole healthy stuff it gets to food. I mix it all over again, and now I'm closing the pot with a lid, but leaving a tiny space open so it can breathe and will not spit all over my kitchen table here if it gets over boiled. Now we've gotten a little messy right here cooking. Everything is messed up, but that's not a problem because we remember this good saying my father said to me, that the difference of a good professional from a normal professional is that after a good professional it remains cleaner than it was before him. So everything shines. Our soup is pretty much ready. I'll serve it for myself to eat and show you the end result. Alright my friends, this is what I have served myself for my meal. I think it looks just so good. This is the soup. It really looks rich and full of ingredients. This is a sandwich with some spreadable cottage cheese, ham, tomatoes and melted cheese on top. This I've got myself for the dessert. This is a camembert cheese with nuts, raspberry and honey. And this tea is a new discovery for myself. I have just started to drink lemon tea with some honey. It's so good. I can only recommend you to try this out. My friends, I have just tried this soup and it tastes tremendously good. I'm really happy that I've got this recipe and I'm really excited. What do you think about it? If you like soups or not. I personally think that soups are perfect dishes for your stomachs because of their hotness. All the digestive organs start to work better. This is also a bachelor meal, means that you can experiment all over with it, and most importantly, you get this dish ready within an hour or maybe less if you're experienced enough. It was it for today, my dear friends. If you have enjoyed watching this video and tried out this recipe by yourselves, please let me know in the comments. Don't be shy and be comfortable with liking this video and subscribing to the channel. We'll see each other in the next vlog, and peace.